since Sargam is a theme, I thought I'll start with a couple of lines of a song I really love. जब हम ना होंगे तो पिहरवा, जब हम ना होंगे तो पिहरवा, बोलो कब क्या तब आओगे, बोलो क्या तब आओगे, मोरा सैया मोसे बोलना, मोरा सैया मोसे बोलना. Replace Saiya with friend and welcome to the world of the Neapolitan novels. It starts with the disappearance of one of the key characters in the book, Lena. There's no trace of her anywhere, and why has she disappeared and where has she gone to? Helping us piece together these questions is the other main character, Lena. Elena, the narrator of the book, the best friend of Lena, who calls her Lila. So let's call her Lila too. Lila and Lena. Now Lena starts writing the story of their life, something Lila had expressly forbidden her to. Why? And why is Lena writing about her now? With this interesting premise starts this quartet of books written by Elena Ferrante, and it's called the Neapolitan novels. It's based in post-war Naples, post-World War Naples. It traces the journey of these two girls right from their childhood in Naples to 60 years later. Their lives are surrounded by poverty, by violence, and that shapes many of the decisions they take and many of the choices they cannot make. For me, first and foremost, this is a book about friendship between these two girls, Lena and Lila. A friendship that inspires beyond imagination, a friendship which manipulates beyond reason, a friendship which, which hurts deeply, a friendship which comes to need when you need it the most, a friendship which meanders through the course of life. When they are young, one day they're playing with the dolls and one doll disappears. And that's not by chance. There's something deeper, and that's a metaphor which carries through in their life. They dream of becoming rich, of escaping the poverty around them and becoming authors. They're reading Little Women at that time. Does that dream come true? Second, for me, this is a story which is a powerful take on feminism. These two girls, as they grow up and as they become women, how they navigate this almost normalized version of violence around them. When life beats them into corners this dark, which they cannot escape from, how do they get their voice back? How do they get their reason back? And the very different choices they make, therefore, about life, about career, about motherhood, about marriage, about relationships. What are those choices, and why is it so different between both of them? The book explores these facets. Third, and very important for me because I love working in the field of education, this book explores the power of education. It asks, can we escape our lives and become who we want to be just by the dint of education? Both the girls are brilliant, Lena and Lila. In fact, the first book in the quartet is called My Brilliant Friend. Now, Lila is an original thinker. She teaches herself reading, even Greek, and by the age of 10, she's written a small book, and she cannot continue schooling. She has to drop out of schooling. Her parents cannot support her anymore. She doesn't get formally educated beyond middle school. On the other hand, Lena is also brilliant. She gets to complete her schooling. She is determined. She doesn't give up. She grows up. She goes to college. She becomes an author. The author they dreamt, both of them had dreamt of becoming. Lena becomes an author. In fact, she becomes a brilliant author. Her books are written all over, read all over. She gets called to different places, multiple cities, multiple countries. It seems as if she has escaped the poverty and violence of their childhood. And where is Lila? Lila stuck in Naples without education. Does her life get changed? Well, she continues to surprise in intriguing ways. With her brother, she creates a handcrafted shoe which becomes rage of town. Then, coming out of an abusive marriage, broken, battered, she tries to take up the challenge of unimaginable working conditions in a sausage factory. Even later, working with a partner who's fascinated by the emerging world of computers, she learns computers and algorithms, and they together create a company. And they face a challenge with one of the most important and powerful people in that locality, while they're trying to give jobs to people there. Lila never escapes, but does she, really? As Lena keeps reading and keeps writing and keeps becoming more famous, some thread of her keeps getting connected with Lila. It never goes away. In a way, it's the author asks you, is one person living and the other person writing? I'll read a short excerpt from the book which makes this connection more clear. Yes, it's Lila who makes writing difficult. My life forces me to imagine what hers would have been if what had happened to me had happened to her. What use she would have made of my luck. And her life continuously appears in mine, in the words I have uttered, in which there's often an echo of hers, in a particular gesture that is an adaptation of a gesture of hers, in my less, which is such because of her more, in my more, which is the yielding to the force of her less. Not to mention what she never said, but let me guess, what I didn't know but read later in her notebooks. Thus, the story of the facts has to reckon with filters, deferments, partial truths, half-lies. From it emerges and comes an arduous measurement of time past that is based completely on the unreliable measuring device of words. Unreliable measuring device of words. That word, those words stayed with me. And last of all, this book for me is about identity. In a way, the author questions who is the inspired and who is inspiring. Who is the brilliant friend in this book? And not just that, beyond these two girls, the cast of characters around them, their friends, their lovers, their husbands, their children, they tell you the identity of Naples, which Mohit was talking about. This violent, poverty-stricken Naples, Naples with a clash between socialism and fascism, Naples which is ruled by the loan sharks and by the Camaros. How do you even stand up against them? Where do you go if you can go? From a deeply personal story, it talks about the particular political turmoil of the time. And just when you think that you have uncovered the layers of the book, comes the other layer which Mohit talked about, the identity of the author. Well, she prefers to stay anonymous, invisible. This is another disappearance, but by design, in a way. And many people have speculated, there's intense speculation about who she could be, and is she even a woman? Isn't she a man? Because who else could write like this? And that's a question we'll probably never get the answer to. But as I read and reread this book, for me, it's not just 4 separate books. It's a long, unflinching, visceral, often uncomfortable look at life from its closest quarters, so unflinching and so uncomfortable that you cannot look away, you cannot put it down, you have to read. And that for me is the power of most visceral fiction. While non-fiction often gives me very concentrated learnings, fiction, this kind of raw, powerful fiction, leaves me with layers and layers of meaning and depth, which takes me years to unravel, and reflections for life. And that's what I hope that some of you from this room would also probably read or have read Elena Ferrante's Neapolitan novels, and maybe it'll also give some new meaning for you. Thank you so much.